Most people trying to get into cybersecurity right now are following the wrong roadmap and they don't even realize it. I've seen people spend a year studying, feeling confident, and then they hear nothing back after applying for jobs. That usually happens because the order of learning is wrong, not the efforts. In this video, I'll show you the exact roadmap I will follow today if I was starting again based on how real cybersecurity team works. So you don't waste your time like most beginners do. I'm Hemant, the UK-based cybersecurity professional with 20 plus years in the industry. I've worked across real enterprise environments in different geographies. This roadmap is not theory. It's what actually helps people move from beginner to job ready. Before we get into the steps, let's pause for a moment and make sure that we are clear on what cybersecurity really means. A lot of people hear the word cybersecurity and immediately think hacking, but cybersecurity is much more than that. In simple terms, cybersecurity is about protecting systems, network, application, and data. It's about stopping attacks, detecting suspicious activity, investigating incidents, and managing risk. Its defense is monitoring, it's understanding how systems behave and making sure they stay safe. Now you might be thinking, what background do I need? So people come here in cybersecurity from many different paths. Some start in IT support, some come from networking, some from system administration, and some from software development. And yes, even people from non-technical roles enter cybersecurity by building skills step by step. What really matters is not your degree title, but your mindset. Your ability to solve problems, your curiosity to understand how things work, and your willingness to keep learning about systems. Cybersecurity is something you can learn. And once you understand what this field really involves and realize your background doesn't have to be perfect, the roadmap ahead will start to make a lot more sense. Let's start with the first step. And honestly, this is where many beginners make their first big mistake. People get excited and jump straight into tools. Kali Linux, Wireshark, random hacking videos, all of that. But they skip something very important. Understanding how systems actually work. I once interviewed someone who had 3 certifications. On paper, it looked impressive. But when I asked simple questions like how a device connects to a website or what a port does, he was struggling. And once that happens, the interview usually goes downhill from there. Now, you don't need to be a networking expert. That's not a goal. But you do need to understand some basics. You should know how devices communicate with each other, what an IP address really represents, and what's happening behind the scenes when you open a browser and visit a website. These things sound simple, but they form the foundation. Because when this step is weak, every tool you learn later feels confusing. That's when people start thinking cybersecurity is too hard and they lose confidence. Many give up early not because they can't do it, but because they skipped the foundation. So take your time here, strong foundation, make everything else easier. After foundation, most people move into what they call learning cybersecurity. They start watching videos about attacks, firewalls, malware, encryption, all of that. And that's good. You should learn these things, but here's the issue I see often. Many beginners start memorizing terms without really understanding how they play out in real situation. In SOC environment, I've worked with good analysts who don't just say this is malware. They ask better questions. How did it get in? Which system is at risk? What could happen next? The way of thinking doesn't come from memorizing definition. It comes from understanding the basics properly. So at this stage, focus on things like common attack types, phishing, malware, things you'll actually see. Understanding what tools like firewalls and antivirus really do, not just their names. And understand why layered defense matters. Why security isn't just one tool, but multiple controls working together. This is also the stage where many people start feeling confident, but interviews reveal the gap quickly. Knowing the names of attack is one thing, understanding how they actually work in the real world is something else. So spend a little more time here. Don't just learn the terms. Try to understand the behavior behind them. Now we come to one of the most important steps in the whole journey. This is a step that separates people who just watch cybersecurity from people who actually do cybersecurity. And honestly, this step decides whether your CV gets shortlisted or quietly ignored. Up until now, you were building understanding. That's important. But this is where you stop being just a learner and start becoming practitioner. Watching video does not build experience. Labs and projects do. I've spoken to candidates who knew all the concepts. They could explain theory very well. But the moment I asked, have you tried this in a lab? They hesitated. And the hesitation shows. When you build a lab, even a small one, your confidence changes. You have seen things happen, not just read it. Start small. You don't need to do anything fancy. Set up a few virtual machines. Try platforms like TryHackMe or Hack the Box. Look at the logs, alerts, and system behavior. Do small security projects. Because in hiring discussion, one question will always come up. What has this person actually done? Not just what they studied, but what they tried. Proof turns knowledge into credibility, and credibility is what moves your CV from maybe to let's interview. Now, I'll be honest, most people quit here because labs feels uncomfortable at first. Things don't work, you get errors, it feels confusing. But that discomfort is exactly what builds real skills. That's where growth happens. Once you have done some labs and started getting exposure, the next mistake many people make is not knowing where to focus. This is a stage where a lot of beginners slow down, not because they lack ability, but because everything starts looking interesting. And here's the thing, cybersecurity is not one job, it has many paths. Let me quickly explain the main roles. Number one, SOC analyst. This is usually the first entry role. They monitor alerts, spot suspicious activity, and help detect threats. Security engineer. Someone who builds and maintains security tools and controls. Things like endpoint protection, email security, monitoring system, that kind of work. Penetration tester. Focuses on finding weaknesses before attackers do. They test systems like a friendly hacker and then report what needs to be fixed. Cloud security. Exactly what it sounds like. Securing cloud platforms like Azure or AWS. This area is growing fast because so many companies are moving towards cloud. Then there's a GRC or risk. That's more around policies, compliance, governance, audits, and helping organizations meet standards and regulation. And finally, security architecture. That's the design side. Thinking about how to build secure system end to end, making decision, trade-offs, and long-term security design. So there are many options, but here's the mistake I see often. People try to learn everything at once. A bit of SOC, a bit of hacking, a bit of cloud, a bit of compliance. The result, they feel busy, but don't feel confident in anything. In real hiring, clarity helps a lot. When someone says, I'm targeting SOC rules and here's what I practice, that's much more stronger than saying, I'm open to anything in cybersecurity. You don't have to lock yourself into one path forever. But at this stage, picking a direction helps you focus your learning, build relevant labs, and make your CV clearer. Spreading your effort across everything feels productive, but it slows your progress more than you realize. Now let's talk about certification and education part, because this is where many people get confused. You might be thinking, should I do certification, internship, bootcamps, or even master's degree? And here's how to think about it. Certifications are great for job-focused learning. Employees recognize them quickly and they are useful for entry and mid-level roles. For example, Security Plus is a very good starting point. It helps you understand security basics in a structured way. But if you're completely new to IT, you can start even before that. Something like Google IT Support Certificate or CompTIA A+, which help you to understand basic IT system. Then Network Plus helps with basic networking, and after that Security Plus becomes much easier. Once you have done that, you move into role-based certification depending upon your direction. For SOC roles, something like SC200, for cloud security, AZ500, for pen testing certification like EJPT or PNPT, which focuses more on practical testing skills. Senior certifications like CISSP, CISM, CCSP, CEH or OSCP usually comes later after you have real security experience. They make more sense once you have been in the field. But here's the key point. Certification should support hands-on proof, not replace it. Now let's talk about internship and bootcamps. This can actually be helpful because they give you structure instead of guessing what to learn next. You follow a path, but the real value depends upon what you actually do in this internship and bootcamp. If the internship gives you hands-on labs, real-world scenario, projects, tool practice, maybe even incident simulation, then yes, it can genuinely improve your skills. But if it's mostly slides and theory with very little practice, it may increase your knowledge, but it won't make you job ready. So when choosing an internship or bootcamp, don't just look at the brand name. Ask, what labs will I do? What tools will I actually use? Will I be building something I can show employees? A good internship or bootcamp supports your roadmap. A weak one just adds another line on your CV. Now about a master's degree in cybersecurity. It's not required to start your career, but it has its place. A master's is valuable for long-term growth. It helps if you want research-focused roles, deeper academic knowledge, or leadership position later in your career. In some cases, it also helps with immigration pathways or roles where higher education is preferred. A master's gives you strong theoretical depth, but for entry-level jobs, employers still mainly looks at skills, labs, and practical exposure. So think of a master's as a long-term investment in depth and positioning, not a shortcut to your first job. So if your goal is your first job, certification plus lab and real proof of skills matter more than a degree alone. Now let's talk about what really turns beginner into professionals. It's not one course, it's not one certification, but it's a repeated exposure. Cybersecurity doesn't stay still. New threats appear, tools change, system evolve. So the people who grow in this field are not the ones who memorize the most. They are the ones who kept putting themselves in new situations and learning from them. Every time you try something new, a lab, a tool, a scenario, your judgment improves. And judgment is what makes someone valuable in cybersecurity. Junior professionals usually follow steps. They do what they have been told to do. But experienced professionals understand the context. They see the bigger picture. They make decisions. And that level doesn't come from just passing any certification or exams. It comes from continuous exposure over time. So yes, learning in this field never really stops. But that's also what makes it interesting. There's always something new to understand, something new to improve. That's how you grow from beginner to a confident professional. Before we close, let's talk about the real question most people have: salary and long-term career growth. Cybersecurity is one of the fastest growing fields globally. But let me be very clear. Entry-level salaries are not magical on day one. They depend upon the country, the role and your skills. At an entry level, in the US, beginner cybersecurity roles usually starts around $60,000 to $80,000 per year. In the UK, entry roles often starts around 30,000 to 40,000 pounds. In India, fresher roles typically starts between 4 to 8 lakhs per year, depending upon the company and location. That's the starting point, not the end goal. But what makes cybersecurity different is how fast growth happens once you gain experience. As you get more exposure, take responsibility and work on real systems, salary increases because you're protecting critical infrastructure and sensitive data. After a few years of experience in the US, mid-level professionals often earn $100,000 to $140,000 per year. In the UK, that moves into 60,000 to 90,000 pounds. In India, an experienced professional can reach 15 lakhs to 30 lakhs per year, even more in niche or leadership roles. And the career path usually looks something like this. You start as a junior analyst, then move to senior analyst, then into security engineer or specialist role. Later, you may grow into architect, lead or manager positions. Some people also move into consulting and leadership roles. This is a career where learning directly converts into opportunity. The more you understand system, risk and decision, the more valuable you become. Cybersecurity rewards people who keep learning and gaining exposure. And that's why long-term growth in this field is strong. If you follow these steps in the right order, the journey becomes much clearer. But if you mix them up, progress starts to feel slow and confusing. And that's where many people lose confidence. So let's bring this roadmap together. Number 1, start with strong foundation. Number 2, understand security basics properly. Number 3, build proof through labs and small projects. Number 4, choose a direction so your learning has focus. Number 5, use certification wisely to support your skills, not replace them. Number 6, keep building proof of what you can actually do. And lastly, number 7, keep learning through exposure. This is the path I've seen work again and again in real environments. It's not about rushing, it's about building in the right order. And when you do that, cybersecurity becomes much more manageable and your growth becomes steady and real. Which step are you stuck on right now? Comment which step you are on and I'll help you with the next move. If you want practical, experience-based cybersecurity guidance, make sure you are subscribed. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe and keep building your cyber future.